But America heard the term open concept and didn't realize it was supposed to be applied to living rooms and kitchens, not public toilets. While I've lived in the UK for the past 13 years, recently I went back to the US and boy, the reverse culture shock is real. In this video, we're going over 5 things America could learn from the UK that are really jarring to me when I'm back home visiting. Number 1. Walking places. I've mentioned this in my UK versus USA health video, but when I'm in America, I miss being able to easily walk places. For example, while staying at my friend's house, there was a place I needed to go to run an errand. And being the British person that I now am, I didn't want to bother her to ask her to drive me, so I looked it up and it was only a 25-minute walk away. But when I looked up this 25-minute walk, it was across major traffic, basically along a highway, and also you can tell from the street view that it's completely void of people walking. It's like the Truman Show, where we have the sidewalks, but it's not really real and nobody actually uses them. There are some great walking cities in the USA, but we need to transform the rest of it to be more walkable. Not just for calories in and calories out, but because it actually opens up a lot more opportunity for people to get places. Maybe your car is broken down. Maybe you can't afford one. Maybe you broke both of your arms and would find it hard to drive, but you can walk. I don't know the exact scenario, but it just would be great if we could walk more places in America. Number 2. Quicker airport procedures. Every time I fly into and through America, I'm always reminded how much of a mess the actual airport experience can be. I truly don't know what it is. It's the security and the check-in lines, and in America, it seems like regardless of the airline or airport, they're almost always crazier than the ones in the UK that I use regularly. Traveling through London Heathrow would seem like it should be a total nightmare. It's a hub for a lot of airlines and basically the gateway to Europe, but guess what? It's typically fast and efficient compared to American airports. There are signs everywhere telling you how far the walk is to your gate. Security never takes me that long, and I'm not saying it's a pleasant experience. Traveling never really is, but it's tolerable. Not the case at JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City, for those who don't know. It's total chaos. There are luggage and humans and confusing lines everywhere. This could also be because Americans are bad at queuing. This just occurred to me, but whatever the reason, get it together, American airports. All of these airlines are like, man, you gotta get to your international flight like 3 hours before it departs. That's for you people flying out of LAX. UK airports typically have it sorted. Now, speaking of airports, I had to travel through 4 of them on my last trip with connecting flights, working while I traveled, which meant I was on a lot of different Wi-Fi networks. To make sure that my data stayed protected, I used private internet access, the sponsor of today's video and the most transparent VPN provider that never records or stores user data. A VPN or virtual private network is one of my must-haves when being on public Wi-Fi connections because it's very easy for hackers to steal passwords and personal information if they share your same Wi-Fi. So many people don't think of this when they just randomly connect at every coffee shop or airport terminal that offers shared Wi-Fi, but it can be really dangerous with your data if you're not careful. With private internet access, they hide my IP address and encrypt the internet connection, basically putting my personal information behind a kind of shield that the bad guys can't get to. This means I can browse, buy things online, and put in my password to my email and bank accounts without worrying. Private internet access can be used on all platforms, including Windows, Mac, and iOS, so you can use one subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices at the same time. For instance, I use it on my laptop and on my phone. With private internet access VPN, I was also able to keep watching Gavin and Stacey while I was in America. Gavin and Stacey is available in the UK, but not in the USA. So I just used private internet access VPN to change the server to the UK. Now they've got a great offer for my audience, and if you check out the link in the description, you can get 83% off of private internet access. That's just $2.03 a month, and you also get 4 extra months completely free. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it. Now, the third thing America should do to keep in line with the UK is removing pharmaceutical advertising. Pharmaceutical advertising is one of those American things that you really do not notice when you live in America, but it becomes wild to think about the second that you leave. If you don't know, in the US, companies advertise medication through television ads, online ads, whatever. It could be Zoloft for anxiety or something for psoriasis or for your eczema or your heart problems. Pick an ailment and there's a drug for it, and it'll be advertised right smack dab in between singers on American Idol. Now, typically the ads start off innocently enough, typically with someone who is living their best life despite their illness, frolicking in the flowers, having orange juice with their family at breakfast. Somehow they're always eating breakfast in these ads. So then Americans buy in and we're like, well, I don't even have allergies, but I wish I did just so I could try this medication. But then, boom, they have to list the side effects, often including the rare ones, so you're left with ads like this.
For adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardians can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis that may be fatal.
Which is really confusing and brings me back to my main point. Doctors should really be the one prescribing medication and telling you the side effects, not an ad. Americans need to do something about this pharmaceutical advertising and be more like the UK, where this is not allowed and people get medical advice from medical professionals rather than paid actors. Imagine that. The fourth thing on my list is building better walls between bathroom stalls. And I know this is low-hanging fruit because everyone always talks about it, but having just been in bathrooms in the UK airport and then a US airport, I have to say, please, America, build your public bathrooms without massive Grand Canyon-sized gaps in the doors and walls. This is not a group exercise. This is not a partner project. It is already awkward enough using a public bathroom. No one likes this experience. But America heard the term open concept and didn't realize it was supposed to be applied to living rooms and kitchens, not public toilets. It honestly always surprises me so much when I'm home in America because I'm just so used to UK public bathrooms at this point. So I'll walk into an American bathroom and I'm like, where's the rest of the door? Your 5-year-old child should not be able to fit through the gaps in a public bathroom stall. This does not seem like a controversial take to me. Like, the real American dream is being able to use a public bathroom without feeling like you're actually on display to the public. And finally, number 5, roundabouts. I have not always been a proponent of roundabouts, but I do see how four-way junctions with traffic lights, which is most common in the US, aren't as good for the flow of traffic. I'm not even suggesting that the US needs to become roundabout central, but I do think we could use more of them. Besides actual traffic flow, the pros of a roundabout is it actually gives you something to do when you're waiting instead of just sitting there and getting bored. I think this is why Brits like them, to be honest, because it's like a challenge every single time. When is it your turn to go? Do you have enough room? At a four-way traffic light, you just sit there and watch everyone else take turns driving while you go nowhere. I just feel like there's a level of anticipation with a roundabout. Just the other day, I was on a really busy one in the UK, and then suddenly we got a clear space where 4 or 5 cars could go through at once, including mine, and I felt like I had won the roundabout lottery. So there you have it. 5 things America could learn from the UK. Will we? Probably not, but we can always hope. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you next time.